I think this is the only venue is going to help fix it. I've been in the Tea Party movement, did it for 10 years until it was neutered in this state. And, but I have a lot of friends in that were in that movement that operate out of fear, like you said. And so how, if you can tell them to go to the website, say, hey, you need to get educated on this. They're not going to do it. So what is your suggestion? Because I had a friend, because I've been posting a lot, those indigenous states come to our events, blah, 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 on Facebook, and I had a friend say, oh, you don't want to do convention of states, blah, 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 and I just responded to her and said, well, I think I'm going to trust the founding fathers. And then gave her the link, but they're so convinced. I mean, they've got blinders on. So, what is your suggestion how to deal with
Get
that?
them to admit that we're in trouble. And I don't know many people, unless their head's in the sand, that doesn't think, if they have any history of our country and where we've been before versus where we are now, that won't agree that we're in trouble. And then say, what's your solution?
Yeah.
Because they won't have one. And so your solution is to do nothing to save our country, whereas our solution is to do what our founders suggested. And I think that puts them in a box. I did that to 2 legislators today. Gary standing right there. I said, well, okay, then so you don't want to do this. What's your solution? Because you can't, you're in a position of power. You can't not have a solution. So if you don't want to vote for the Convention of States, how do you want to fix this? Or you just ducking? Oh, you're one of those kind of politicians. You just duck. So you're here for the wrong reasons then, right? They don't like that. And I'm not suggesting you all should say that to them, but I have a little bit of a reputation where I can come down hard. So the point will be is ask them, what's your solution?
Yeah. I'm talking about my peers.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about, but the point is they love their grandkids too. Right? They love this country.
They're so scared. They've been lied to about the whole thing. They don't understand the language.
Look, you and I come from the exact same. What's your name?
Jackie Martin.
Jackie, nice to meet you. You and I come from the same place. I was not engaged in politics before the Tea Party movement. I lived through the pinnacle of it. I watched it get neutered everywhere, not just here. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. We didn't have a solution in the Tea Party movement. We yelled a lot. We elected people. We had an 8th grade view of civics, which is if you elect good people to go to Washington, D.C. and do the right thing. Turns out that doesn't work. The civics books didn't.
A third of them will.
Yeah, but not enough.
Yeah.
And there's so much aligned against them in Washington, D.C. The entire structure is aligned against them. So a lot of these folks that you're talking about are my friends too, right? People in the Tea Party movement. And the stuff they say about us now, it breaks my heart, to be honest with you. Here's what I say to people like that. I say, explain to me why you're on the same side as every Soros organization in America. I just need to understand this because your position, the words that are coming out of your mouth are coming from Planned Parenthood, they're coming from La Raza, they're coming from MoveOn.org, they're coming from Daily Cause, they're coming from every public employee union in the entire, all the communist, socialist, Marxist, centralizing, America-hating, baby-killing organizations in America are saying the exact same words you're saying to me, and you're my friend, and I love you, and I don't understand how you could be on their side. And then they'll get mad at you, likely. And what
I'm used to that.
Yeah, what I say to them is, don't get mad at me. Like, I'm not making this up. And then this is what I say. Do you know who David Horowitz is? Almost everybody on our side knows who David is, right? And they'll go, yeah, the greatest chronicler of the American left in all of American history, right? Yeah. Let me send you an article, what he says about what the left has done, because the left has convinced you of this falsehood. And now, you don't know it, but now you've been made a tool of the left.
Right.
And you need to know that. And I would just ask that you read this article and then talk to me. And Horowitz, I don't know if you've read it, he has this incredible 4-page
It's
article.
on the website.
Yeah. And I would just
I've met him and I've heard him speak at AFT.
Yeah. So I mean, I would just, that's what I say. And then I would like you to just do me a favor as my friend. Read this article. It's not from Convention of States. It's from David Horowitz. And then let's talk about that. And because for me, If I was looking in the mirror one morning and all of a sudden I saw standing behind me every group in America that I know that's trying to destroy the American dream, and I was standing with them, I'd be worried. I'd wonder what's going on, and I would just say, then read the article. I don't want you to read anything else. Just read this article and then talk to me. That's how I would approach it.
Okay, that's a good idea.
That's good, but it's really difficult to de-brainwash somebody.
Well,
I can't even de-brainwash my own daughter.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to pretend that works.
That's
even a
what you're
lot.
trying
I will
to
tell you, there's a weird thing going on in our experience, which is these people that are like this have become so much like the radical left in the way they approach things that it's terrifying to me. It's personal smear, it's vitriol, it's hyperbole, it's no facts. Put your fingers in your ears and scream at people. And I'm seeing this from people who used to be my compatriots in the fight to save America. So from a methodology perspective, they act like radical leftists. And so I agree with you, you're not going to convince me.
Don't lose patience, though.
Yep.
Here's the
No,
thing.
I just say,
You
well,
know-
I guess I won this argument and walk off, I mean, that's how I diffuse it.
And that's what happens when you say, well, what's your solution?
Right,
Because
exactly.
they don't have one. So they've agreed that there's a problem. What I'd say is, we're not going to win everything. And, the founders didn't agree about everything, but they came to an agreement and came to enough of a mass that they actually did it, right? So that's what we're about. So just move on to the next person.
Yeah.
And I know there's personal losses in this. Look, I've got a son-in-law that thinks this is nuts. I said, well, if you'll, I told somebody today about from Montana.
Oh, the speaker?
No, our lawyer,
Oh, Rob Nadelson.
Rob Nadelson. And Rob's brilliant. I mean, he's quirky because he's so smart, so he's hard to have dinner with, but he's brilliant.
Really?
And what he's written and what he's researched, and they don't want to hear what some lawyer from Montana had to say. Well, he's recognized as the most knowledgeable expert on conventions in America that there's ever been, but they don't want to hear it. So you just kind of move on. I'm going to put my effort where it'll actually make a difference, and I would encourage you to do that.
I'm going to tell you about that you're talking about get them to admit there's a problem to start with.
Yeah.
Well, there's another good intro question, and it's, do you think the government has overstepped its,
It's authority.
And I would know Republican. My office is right across the street from the county courthouse. So I get 2 or 3 people a day sometimes that come in and get stuff notarized. And we get to talking about, current events
That's a
and
great
stuff.
spot.
And I asked them that question. I said, the government, overstepped its authority. Everybody agrees.
Sure.
Even the poor people and the
jump over
business
hoops to get
people,
something
everybody.
done because the
Yeah.
government made them jump over the hoop.
Yeah. So, that's a good icebreaker.
You got a question back here?
I just want to know what happened in the meeting today.
In the meeting today
Yeah,
with the legislators,
yeah.
it was great. We did, Gary talked, I talked, we let them ask questions and without chastising them or belittling, except for the end, one senator, but he needed it. So what happened is what we saw is we had 26 state representatives there, is that right?
Somewhere close to.
26, and I think we had 40 people in the room, didn't we?
Yes.
So we had some senators as well, and I think we even had one Democrat in the room as well. And nobody made fun of anybody or anything. They were honestly, I think what has happened in Arkansas is last year, the members of the House weren't educated about what was really going on. And they were at end of sessions. It should have been voted on much earlier. And it was end of session. And I just think they just said, I don't want to mess with it. Plus, it messed with other bills. So we had, I thought, a great interaction with a lot of people. Even somebody who said they were dead set opposed to it, at least came. Maybe she was looking for ammo, I don't know. But she came and listened. She didn't ask a question, but she listened.
Yes, Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering, could you explain the process, what's going to happen tomorrow a little bit about the bill, the presentation, and what's going to go on?
Yeah, I think what we'll do is be testifying before Gary's committee, and Mark and I will be there. I don't know who else you have lined up besides yourself to testify.
It'll just be you and Mark and I,
Yeah,
and there's 8 members on that state agencies committee. 6 of those have already signed on as co-sponsors.
yeah,
So it takes 5 votes to get a bill out of that committee.
yeah.
So we should be in good shape as far as getting the bill out of state agencies on the Senate floor.
So we've done this dog and pony show a lot. So I'll give a brief testimony, Mark will give a brief testimony, Gary will probably give the first testimony, and his will be most powerful because he's their peer. And then we'll answer any questions they might have. We'll walk out and it will be done, and whether they'll vote it tomorrow or not, I don't know.
Yeah, they'll vote tomorrow.
They'll vote tomorrow and it'll be headed towards the floor, and I feel that's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I want to say one thing about the process. This is something that you should witness. Most people have never seen this, right? This is your state government at work. I'd never seen it until I got involved in this. It's the coolest thing.
I'm out of here.
All right, Tom.
See you guys. Thank
God
you.
bless. For most of us, it's just this mysterious thing that happens in the background. We don't even think about it. And guys like the senator and representative, they're living this stuff. For most of us, we have no idea. There's just a government building somewhere. You might know what the Capitol looks like, what goes on in there. We don't know. It's a mystery. It shouldn't be. It belongs to us. That's our government. That's our process.
Right.
When Gary's up there testifying, he's testifying for you. Right? He's your senator. These are your representatives. Going in there and seeing it and being part of it and understanding the process, it's not just cool, it's our obligation as citizens. I think everybody should have to go to the Capitol and watch some hearings and watch how floor votes take place and lobby their legislator on things that are important to them. See, the founders, they knew that we would have to participate. Right? They said that the Constitution is just a parchment barrier. What they meant by that is not that the Constitution wasn't beautiful and amazing and powerful, but that it didn't mean anything if we didn't know about it and we didn't defend it and we didn't fight for it. Part of that is participating in your own state legislature. That's why for me, sort of the meta goal out of Convention of States, yes, I want the resolution to pass, and yes, I want a convention, and yes, I want amendments that get ratified, but ultimately, in the end, what I'm really shooting for is the largest self-governing grassroots army in American history, because when it's all said and done, when the amendments are in place and we restrain Washington, D.C., you know where the power is going to come? Here.
Yeah.
The power is going to be in Little Rock, and then all heck is going to break loose if y'all aren't there. I'm not kidding, right, Gary? I mean, look, what are these guys going to do with so much more power if you're not watching them? Human nature tells you what they're going to do. So our job is to be there to hold them accountable. Every human being needs accountability. And so that's why it's so important to go and see these hearings and participate, not just for Convention of States, but for other stuff in your state legislature. In the states where we've already passed, our teams are involved in all kinds of stuff. They're involved in legislation protecting life, and there's a huge property tax reform issue going on in Texas right now. This is what the Convention of States activists do after COS passes. We're going to be engaged in this fight, from my perspective, forever.